It's not a word or anything.
Alright, and we are off. Gonna get Blue Mail. Okay, why is PRD playing as a big key? What is this?
Oh, that doesn't look like a good sprite for lineups, but he'll probably be mostly working off the shadow anyways.
I don't know. Yeah, so alright, we're gonna see the first major glitch right away. Seeing PRD clipping up a
Going for
slope.
hobo.
Yep, going to immediately get out of bounds and do a quick fake flipper. And ObscureLifeForm is going to do the same thing, although I assume they're going for Highway Island.
Yep,
I did not, yes. I didn't see what was on Highway Island, but I assume it's something good.
We'll see now.
Yep, so this is an auto walk.
Oh, Somalia.
Oh, it's
that's very good.
Definitely worth it. Alright, so I didn't get a chance to do the usual spiel about what we're doing, so I guess I'll just do it now. So when you dash buffer into slopes, this game is kind of poorly programmed. So as you can see PRD doing right now, if you tap left and the A button at the same time, you will dash buffer into the slope, and you'll move in only a couple pixels, which bypasses the collision detection. And once you're in a certain number of pixels, you can press directly into the slope, and that forces you either upwards or downwards a decent amount, and we call those teleports, and those are very useful. And so it's possible to get out of bounds very easily using teleports, as our runners have already demonstrated. And hey, there's the hammer.
And PRD didn't go far enough right for the auto walk to take him to a place he could jump into the island, so he had to save and quit out, unfortunately. He's going to do it again.
Alright, that should work.
Yep.
Hina Samaria.
Obscure going up to Kakariko through the bottom.
Yep, Oop, there's a glove. Wow, the seat has been pretty kind so far. All of our early checked locations, excepting Hobo, have been important items. And there's a lamp. Okay.
So no dark room shenanigans this run. Yeah, disappointing to some people. Oh, green on Misery Mire, according to Sazrala. But yeah, disappointing to people who are expecting him to stumble through Misery Mire, dark rooms, or something.
Plus, we also have a map check from Obscure, so we get to see the red crystal in Desert Palace, as well as the other crystals in the light.
PRD is gonna get a kill with this sign to check the first pole tier. Or the second, I guess. 20 rupees, not terrible. But probably not something he's gonna go back for.
So we are going to get an early front of escape, which is not something that you see too often in Overworld glitches, considering how easy it is to get to other locations that are a bit more item dense.
Yeah, bit of an interesting start. Hoping for bombs from that soldier, I guess. Minor glitches inside dungeons are allowed, like spin speed, but major glitches like YBAs and indoors clips aren't allowed.
And Obscure is going to pick up a sword in Kakariko Well, so that will be pretty useful for various things, such as spin speed clips, which Shiku briefly mentioned. So Obscure here is doing another teleport, going to boot clip into this wall, and then do a downwards teleport to get up onto this ledge here. And from this ledge, you can jump down like this and steal the race game item. Now Obscure is doing another teleport. This time it will be to get to Desert Palace.
Yeah, the routing around Kakariko is much nicer on Overworld glitches because you can just clear out most of the desert without having to take the long way there.
Yeah, and Obscure can actually full clear Desert Palace right now because we have the lamp. A fire source is pretty much all that you need, plus a weapon for Landmolus. So I am expecting that we will see a Desert Palace full clear. So PRD is checking Lost Woods, which Obscure has not gotten around to yet. Does get a tree pole for bombs.
Oh, and the bow. That's a big one.
Yeah, so we actually have the ability to complete all 3 of our Light World dungeons right away, which is something you don't see very often. Getting more bombs from the bush crab, even. So we've got bow and lamp for Eastern, glove, lamp, and some clipping for Desert Palace, and actually we don't even need glove. What am I saying?
Yeah. The glove makes it a bit faster because you don't have to clip back up then down to get behind the rocks.
Yep, and we've got the hammer for Tower of Hera. So PRD is going to demonstrate to us a form of Death Mountain Ascent.
Lumberjack DMA.
Seems to be having a little bit of trouble clipping into the wall, but we should have it now. So you do 2 hops and get up to this out of bounds area. And so from here, you can actually do something to clip back in bounds, like this.
I don't see that one as much as the other DMAs. It's fun. It really messes up the graphics there, so that's always fun to look at.
Yeah, PRD is doing one of the common Overworld glitches openers, which we call Death Mountain Early. So you go to you essentially do the Lost Woods and then go straight into Lumberjack Death Mountain Ascent after checking the Lumberjack tree itself, and that will essentially let you try to route around Kakariko and get some other items before going there. Oh, something sharp in Mini Moldorm Cave, so we know where another sword is.
Master Sword, at least, in the Light World. And yeah, Death Mountain has a lot of locations you can check, and you can get to really easily in Overworld glitches, so it's a good choice early, obviously.
Yep. There's a lot of freedom of routing available, so you can see Obscure going to Kakariko and PRD going to Death Mountain, and I would say both of those are pretty much equivalent, are both good choices, just depends on the seed which one pays out. I think right now Obscure is benefiting from all the items he found near the CAC area, especially the lamp.
Yeah, the lamp. Without the lamp, PRD can't get to the fire-locked bottom room if he needs to.
And here is a hammer Landmolus fight, something you don't see super often. The hammer is a much better choice than the fighter sword in this fight, but it is unsurprisingly difficult to land hits with.
Yeah,
So sometimes you may opt to just go for fighter sword slashes in order to get in some consistent damage.
The hammer has it's only a single frame of damage, and it's got a pretty small area, so it really depends on the enemy if the enemy has big hitboxes or not. And in Landmo's case, it definitely doesn't. But PRD is going to be doing hammer Moldorm, which is much easier because that tail is very easy to hit with the hammer. And it's tempered damage, so he'll be skipping the fast phase.
And both of our runners finishing different crystal dungeons, picking up their first crystals.
Phoenix Wright and the Big Key side by side.
Yeah, this is definitely a very generous seed so far. Although we are still lacking the all-important Moon Pearl. Ooh, that was an interesting variation of a clip that that Obscure did there. Not... Ooh.
Ooh, Hookshot.
Oh my goodness.
Hookshot was here in the last seed, too.
Wow, and we just got a hint about the Ice Rod's location, which will be critical for Turtle Rock, of course.
But yeah, the clip from the desert to Cave 45 is pretty useful, especially if you're doing the Kakariko to desert route.
Yeah, and so Obscure will most likely finish off their route here at Checkerboard Cave.
And I'm gonna check Agana if they didn't already.
Oh yeah.
And then save and quit out.
Yep, always want to try and save and quit out of Agina's cave. Saves the trip of walking back out.
Yeah, it's much quicker to just clip around to get the other checks first. Bunch of money from the old guy, not bad. Means you don't have to worry about farming money for Zora if you need to check that. If you're already going for the graveyard lodge.
No, this looks like Hera Cup again.
Oh yeah, that's a Hera.
Makes sense. It's a bit easier to route East Death Mountain coming from the top than from the bottom.
Yeah.
Even though we have ways of getting over at both, we can do different clips in different locations. It's a little bit easier just because Spiral Cave is a one-way trip.
Yeah, so you do Spiral Cave and then you go into the bottom of Paradox to get that.
Purity having some issues with the dead rocks here, although... Alright.
And that fairy got away from him, so he didn't get to refill his health.
Yeah, this is one of the disadvantages, in my opinion, of an early Death Mountain play, is because you are pretty much defenseless against dead. It's scary.
And you don't have the hookshot either, which, if you did, there's a cool little trick you can do with that one Bonk Rocks fairy, where you catch the invisible sprite that spawns the fairy before you bonk it.
Yep, nice time save / consistency measure there. And there is our promised sword.
Obscure already on Master Sword, while Purity unfortunately doesn't have any yet. Although the bow and the hammer are both decent weapons in their own right. Lifting the rock to the rupee cave. Wondering if he's gonna grab some rupees for Zora.
Yeah, only 55 rupees off, so can farm that cave a couple of times to pick up the required money.
Purity getting his first sword.
And PRD actually already has the requisite 500 rupees, having visited Death Mountain, gotten the money off the old man. So that will allow not having to farm this cave, although PRD doesn't even have gloves, so that isn't an option anyway.
Yeah. And, oh, Skewer falling off, but he's trying to get arm water walk off, dashing past that edge and exiting out. He tried to get spin speed to get there faster, but he missed it.
No, I think that was actually just a quick check to see if he had, in fact, armed water walk.
Oh,
Because if you've got water walk armed, you will move faster on these slopes for some. Sorry, on the ladders for some reason. Although Boots water walk in Ice Rod Cave is so free that I honestly wouldn't even bother checking it.
yeah, I've never seen anyone check because it's very generous how far you can be from the edge and still get it armed.
I think it's a 7-pixel win.
And
Anyway, we have near
carefully-
simultaneous.
He's carefully avoiding walking on the land because that would lose him his water walk, and it's much faster to just dash through the water. Thankfully, the ledge doesn't have anything, so you can just grab Zora without worrying about clipping up there.
A
And
little bit of love for both. And
Not
PRD,
enough love for them.
PRD opting to dash out of Zora's domain. I am anticipating a very hype clip in just a moment.
Is he gonna clip down Eastern Pal? Oh,
Nah, we got
This is-
Zora
no, this
Death
is
Mountain
a fun
Ascent.
one.
Let's go.
yeah, this is the fun one.
So here, PRD is going to do an upwards teleport over the screen transition, do a little bit of finagling in out-of-bounds collision, and now is up here. So now, by transitioning at a specific point on the screen, we can do a jump, and then by transitioning, we will be able to essentially get to a known spot. So we are now currently in a position that PRD can control, and is walking around to try and find what I think is the spiral cave entrance.
Nice. Yeah, the tricks that require like screen wrapped movement always look very flashy. No, like if you're not familiar with glitches, you have no idea what's going on.
Yep, so essentially what happened is the camera was broken, but all the collision was correct. And so PRD is able to get to Spiral Cave despite everything being really weird, and pulls the flippers out, which would have been useful about 3 seconds earlier, since there is an easier way to get back in bounds using the flippers.
Skewer couldn't escape from the back because he got a key from the back room.
And finally, there is our Moon Pearl, sitting in
Nice.
Paradox Cave. So we will now be able to access the main part of the Dark World.
Yeah, there are a few DMDs at their disposal, Dark Mountain Descents at their disposal that let them get to very much of the Dark World from just the normal Death Mountain warp tile, which isn't as useful in vanilla.
Although, if PRD decides to enter the Dark World here, he'll probably be hurt a little bit by his lack of the hookshot, since Hookshot Cave is right here.
Yeah, no Hookshot Cave. There's just the one item.
And now PRD is going to go for the powder, which he was unable to get the first time due to trolley dead rocks. Be careful not to hard walk. Hard walks are bad.
They're pretty annoying to do either whether you have flippers or not. It's pretty annoying to get back into that island.
The collision out here can be a little bit weird. The clouds are made of water for obvious reasons. So here there's an invisible ledge which you can actually use to clip back in bounds if you if you go at it from the leftmost part of it. Although Purity is having a little bit of trouble here. There we go.
Actually, I never really thought about why the clouds were water, but now that I think about it, I wonder if maybe it's just so it shares the cycled animation of the water.
That makes sense, yeah. Although clouds are obviously water vapor.
And Purity doing a nice little clip to get on top of Total Rock without the mitts.
So we don't actually care about the T-Rock medallion.
Although
Spoilers.
in very rare key layouts, it can expect you to logically go through the front, but that's not common.
Wow, Obscure going through the old man cave from the front. It is actually not bad if you're coming from Lumberjack tree, but come on. It's Overworld glitches. You can use glitches. You should use glitches because you can.
Cheat harder.
And we do get a quick map check. We get to see, of course, Thieves Town is a pendant. I missed the blue pendant. Where is it?
According to our tracker, it's on Ice Palace.
Oh, well.
Thank you for letting
That's
us.
good. It is not faster to go through the front. But I think it's faster if you're coming from Lumberjack, but not faster if you are coming from St.
And here's Purity clipping down to the Catfish, which is basically part of Death Mountain, and Overworld glitches.
Getting only an armor upgrade for the trouble, although it is pretty good routing. Personally, I would have gone down to Palace of Darkness from there, but
Yeah, it's not
Purity.
hard to clip to pod from there.
Yeah, Purity still has a good chunk of Light World left to do. Including Kakariko, and apparently Bonk Rocks, which he did not get the first time. So with this Kakariko, Purity will be able to pick up a lot of very useful items. Another sword, the glove in Race Game, the lamp in Library, and go down to the desert area.
And down in the desert, he'll finally get the hook shot when he gets to the cave. Obscure opting for his hammer over Master Sword spins.
Pretty cleanly finishing off Moldor.
Briefly landing on the edge of the well, as in the previous race on this channel, one of the runners ended up just landing just outside of the Bat Cave well. And for a second there I thought Purity was going to do... Oh, there's his Master Sword. Thought Purity was going to do the same with Kakariko while there.
And Obscure will also get the critical information about the Ice Rod. Since Turtle Rock is a crystal dungeon, we will need to get that Ice Rod. and knowing that it is hammerlock significantly lowers the number of locations that it can be in.
Hammerlocked, a lot of hammerlocked locations are in Swamp Palace, like most of it is hammerlocked. And that's a crystal, so there's a good chance we'll be getting ice water on their way through there. Oh, prdwong doing the clip and wrap to the bat cave with it.
Dude, you have the hammer.
He does.
Whatever, it looked cool.
Yeah.
Wait, he had the hammer and the flipper, so not only would it be faster to just use the hammer, but also there was the soft walk risk of having flippers while doing that clip. Oh, jeez.
It's fun to do that in the Dark World and hammer the pegs blindly. There's that much needed fire source. Always happy to have one when you're swinging down to Desert Palace.
And here we are going to see an alternate method of stealing the race game item. So that didn't look like a dash turn right, but it was. So if you turn right before doing the upwards teleport, you get pushed a little bit farther right when you're doing the clip, and that lets you steal the item from below instead of above. A little bit faster, just depending on what direction you're coming from. Wow, we have a lot of items for less than half an hour into the seed.
Yeah, just makes me think we're gonna have a very long hunt for the last couple of Go mode items near the end.
Yeah, all we need left is Fire Rod and Mirror and Ice Rod, but we have a hint for that, so it's much less annoying to... Yeah, we don't even need medallions because Maya is pendant. So PRD is now going to finish up Desert Palace. As if the Fire Rod isn't in Mire. Yeah, probably. Medallion in GT is not a concern. Because...
Go ahead.
Actually... Okay, Obscure's just gonna do this first. Spike Cave, not a bad idea. Although it is not actually currently in logic because we don't have a magic extension for the cape.
Yeah.
It isn't sufficient to just use the cape to get through this Spike Cave on only 3 hearts, which is what the logic needs to account for.
And he's either gonna save and quit out or spin speed. Just save and quit. Yeah, land mode's gonna be a lot easier for purity with that silver arrows. Oh, missing them though.
With. Nice 5-cycle bow and Mollis.
So we're going to East Death Mountain. It's going to be able to clear out a hookshot cave.
Seems to be having a little bit of trouble with the half drawbacks. There we go. So that is a clip that we call T-Rock Climb.
Even though most of the time people use it, it's not for getting to Turtle Rock. Although I assume that name came from speedrunners for vanilla.
Yeah, it comes from the Old Dungeons route, where you do that clip to get up onto the land bridge for Turtle Rock Mirror Wrap. But anyway.
In Rando, it's just your... In Overworld Glitches Rando, it's just your standard method of East Death Mountain access.
So fortunately for PRD, Hookshot Cave is a bunch of junk. I think like, what, 2.25 hearts?
Yeah, so you didn't miss out on anything too bad, thankfully.
Yeah, red mail means he's pretty safe, even though the big key sprite doesn't really have a good red mail palette, in my opinion.
Yeah, it gets downgraded from a golden key to a silver key.
Alright. So we've got ObscureLifeForm also heading to Catfish now.
Is PRD going to Ganon's Tower, I think.
Yeah, so we're going to see the reason why, when I was talking to Antism for a bit about how the medallion in GT doesn't really matter, in fact, we pretty much treat Ganon's Tower as just a really, really item-dense location, because we can do this.
Yep. In the non-glitched modes, normally there's what's called junk fill in Ganon's Tower, where it puts 0 to 15 items that are junk, like just arrows, bombs, rupees, and stuff like that, before placing normal items. So there's not a good chance of good items in Ganon's Tower. But in Glitch, there's no junk fill, so there are 20 possible locations for good progression with really low requirements.
Yeah, and we can actually full clear Ganon's Tower right now if we employ the right side bomb jump, which is not particularly commonly used in no glitches logic, but is pretty important to know in Overworld glitches. Simply because it lets you bypass needing the fire rod to make GT worthwhile. You don't want to come back here once you've full cleared the place, of course. So both runners have taken a little bit of a roundabout ways to get to the same point. We had Purity doing early Death Mountain and Obscure taking a slightly more traditional route. But neither runner has gone to Eastern Palace, and both runners are now in GT after having cleared Desert and Harrow.
We're on a pretty similar level at this point. They are taking different routes through Ganon's Tower. Purity taking left side and Square going for the right side first, or at least for the tower room. Doesn't have a small key for the rest of the right side.
Yeah, I agree with going left side first in this case, simply because we don't have the fire rod to make right side fast. Are you serious? So, Titan's Myths are bad because there are not very many locations that require the Titan's Myths in Overworld Glitches logic. It's Smiths, and Smiths are bad, and Ice Palace, and Ice Palace is bad.
And that's a Pendant Ice Palace too.
Yeah, because it wasn't bad enough. So, armed with those mitts, Obscure may make some... Well, we can't go into Ice Palace just yet. But Pendant Ice suddenly looks less terrible.
Purity not getting the bonk there. Oh, he wants the arrows.
This GT has been barren so far.
You can get smiths without mitts in a couple of ways, but none of them are in logic and overworld glitches.
We actually can't get smiths without mitts right. We can't get smiths right now because we don't have a bottle, we don't have the mirror. It's definitely doable, but currently we don't have any of the equipment that would actually let us do that.
Yeah, that I know of, there's screen wrap and mirror setup, there's mirror jumps, and there's an overworld YBA. But
yeah, no way to do it without any gear though.
Yep.
Purity not finding anything so far.
But he has a small keyness now, so he can go to the right side.
Yeah, why is Purity looking for big key? Well, we already have the big key, but we're missing the fire rod and the mirror and the ice rod, and we need all of those things.
That was a joke.
I know, but we already have the big key. We're not looking for it. Wow, big key turns into compass sprite. Nice.
You're already opting to just dodge around tells. Usually if I've got at least Master Sword, I just sit in the door and use spins to kill the hands while Masters.
Purity probably being disappointed that the first relevant item that he finds is the Titan's mitts.
And it's right side. Yeah, he needs to go up to the top door to set his location after he falls into the pit, which will be necessary to get everything in time with just the lamp. Now comes the fun part, doing a bomb jump while the shooter is shooting at you and the wall master is falling from above.
It's not so bad with the spin setup, actually. It used to be a lot worse.
Yeah, that's what I do, the spin setup. And you just gotta time it right.
Yep. Baiting out the wall master and the fire, then going to quickly light this torch, fall in the pit. Unfortunately get hit by a fireball on the way. And now quickly light all of these torches.
Oh, he didn't push it beforehand.
Should be okay.
Oh, no.
No. Okay, he doesn't have enough health left to do this, I think.
Nah.
Just gonna take the death. Oh, that was really close to being 1.0'd.
Yeah, he needed to push that block beforehand so he could dash straight to this third torch.
And Obscure is opting actually to skip right side GT, and so is PRD now, going to just go straight up the tower. They may have to come back in order to get the something behind the fire rod there. So when I say 1.0 in this situation, I'm referring specifically to the glitch that we call Death Hole, which results from dying on the same frame that you fall into a hole. And in that type of hole, it would hardlock the game, because it doesn't send you to another room. It just respawns you at the door, so that actually hardlocks.
Purity having, or Obscure having trouble getting that last guy in the gauntlet. Oh, died. That's not good. Died right at the
Yeah,
end of the
Gauntlet can.
gauntlet.
Yeah, Gauntlet's pretty tough actually without Fire Rod in that last room to make things a little bit more consistent.
You know, they've only got Master Sword too. Having at least Tempered makes it a lot easier.
Personally, I would switch to the hammer for this actually.
Yeah, those
As a bit-
red guys need at least Tempered damage to kill them in one shot.
But Purity making it through the 5 rooms of the Gauntlet, now finishing off Wenmolis 2.
Much cleaner silver kill.
Fortunately, we do have Cane of Somalia for this room, which makes the upper floors of GT a lot nicer.
Yeah, the Samaria Wizard Abstracts are great here.
The best strats are with the Ice Rod in this room. Because you don't have Fire Rod or Cane of Somalia or Bow.
That sounds fun.
It's really not. Purity, you don't have the Fire Rod. You don't have the Fire Rod. That's not gonna work.
Sudden moment of disappointment.
I am not sure if this will be fast enough.
Yeah. Oh. No.
Oh. This room is pretty tough with just the lamp since you do have to light all of the torches pretty quickly and then get to the door. Okay, this should be fine.
Yeah, that's good.
ObscureLifeForm finishing off Enmos 2 as well.
And time to demonstrate the ridiculous
No.
range of the lamp. Can
Alright,
light
yeah,
from
there
all
we
the way
go.
across that gap.
It's pretty silly.
Oh, bonking to avoid the damage from the spikes. That's a nice shot.
Plus we did pick up the powder.
Ooh,
Oh my god,
Fire Rod.
wait, is that the...
Yeah,
That's
Fire
the
Rod.
Fire Rod. Oh my goodness. Amazing. So yes, Fire Rod can in fact be at the top of Ganon's tower.
And Purity using getting knocked off. Yeah, with Moldorm, there's a trick to not get knocked off by holding your sword out and pushing against the direction of the edge you're getting pushed into, but on corners, you're getting pushed into 2 directions at the same time, so you can't really protect against both.
I'm going to opt to switch to Hammer to make Moldorm 2 a little bit more tolerable.
Even if it costs him the time of waiting for him to die before you can hookshot over.
And there is Obscure's Fire Rod. Oh nice, Cane of Burner. So our runners here are pretty much exactly equal in terms of locations cleared and items gotten. Although Obscure has the shovel from somewhere that I don't remember.
Oh, that's a
And we get, like, the fastest Aghanim 2 fight.
Yeah, that's some good RNG.
Aghanim's actually being kind of a jerk.
Oh yeah, that on there wasn't great.
That one was pretty nice, though.
Oh, almost got the triple.
Yeah, these are actually some pretty rough patterns. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, there we go. That's Aghanim 2 down at 45 minutes.
And chat noted that the shovel was in the spike cave.
Yeah, so that's why Purity does not have it, because Spike Cave sucks.
Easy location to pass over, especially since it was out of logic at the time.
Although now it's actually in logic to go there.
Yep. Just a shovel on the pyramid, not worth getting.
And Obscure taking down Aghanim 2. So this is the routing that we're using here, going to go straight from Ganon's Tower to Palace of Darkness. Hopefully, if we get the mirror and pod, that would mean that we can go straight to Eastern, and then it would just be a search for the Ice Rod, which we know is hammer-locked, and that narrows down the range of locations significantly.
And a lot of the hammerlock locations are in Swamp Palace, so if they get the mirror, that's a good choice.
Yep, going to the swamp right away, hoping it's in there. If not, then you'd have to either... There are some overworld hammer locations. You'd have to maybe go into Thieves Town or Ice Palace to get some of them. Although Obscure has the advantage of not having to check Spike Cave, having already done that.
And of course there's a Hammer Pegs, the most obvious hammerlock location.
You don't say. Actually, I don't think there's a way to get hammer pegs without the hammer at all in any mode.
Yeah, it's on the secondary Underworld map too, so I'm not sure how you'd get there even with like EG.
I mean, you can always activate EG in the secondary map. It's just not as useful.
Yeah.
EG is not allowed in almost every form of randomizer that uses glitches.
Yeah.
We do not allow...
Even in no glitches, they don't allow it, I think.
Yes, you don't allow exploration glitch in no glitches.
Or in no logic, rather.
Yeah.
Sorry.
EG means exploration glitch. If you've ever seen someone like walk under the floor of the game to get to the Triforce in 3 minutes, which is a very common thing to see on like different YouTube channels, and like, go look at this cool glitch, I can beat the game in 3 minutes. That's exploration glitch. It's very powerful, so we ban it because it's not interesting.
Bombos. I like that bonk because you land like just off the edge of a platform that's higher up, and you still manage to move back onto it.
Yeah, no major glitches in the Underworld. In the Underworld, like in any caves, in any buildings and dungeons.
Minor glitches are allowed though, like what he's doing here, which is a bomb jump into a rail clip to get to the hammer chest.
Yeah, so Void Effigy, what you are watching right now is an Overworld glitches race, so we allow the use of various major glitches on the overworld of the game to clip between different locations, One of those glitches lets you get into Ganon's tower early, so because we have all the items we need to beat it, we can just go in, clear it out for items, and then finish Aga 2. However, Ganon will not be vulnerable until we get all 7 crystals, so even though we can finish GT very early, we still need to beat all the crystal dungeons, which is why we are currently looking for the mirror and the ice rod.
And in Overworld glitches, GT usually ends up somewhere in the middle of the run after you've got a hammer and hookshot at least, and is preferably a fire source.
Yeah, you don't have to be super familiar with the glitches to watch Overworld glitches, actually. Just marvel at the various ways in which we tear the game open. A lot of the fun sometimes comes from not being able to explain everything yourself and just watching the chaos unfold.
It's always fun to look over at the chat and see the baffled reactions to some of the tricks.
So far, Palace of Darkness has yielded us nothing but bombos, correct?
Oh yeah.
Oh, and Tempered. Tempered is very nice.
Oh yes.
However, it is not particularly critical. Yeah, unfortunately, we won't be getting to see the Smith's logical break because we have the mitts now.
Yeah,
Unless PRD wants to show it off anyway because it looks cool.
yeah, we got the mitts before we got any of the items necessary to glitch to the Smiths.
Quick silver arrow to the gem finishes off Helmasaur. Not the ice rod, unfortunately, but that is a crystal dungeon, so another step closer to defeating Ganon.
And Obscure not too far behind in Palace of Darkness himself. No mirror, unfortunately, so he can't do the nice routing there to Eastern Palace.
Currently we know that the ice rod requires the hammer from a hint, so it can't be on pedestal because pedestal does not explicitly require the hammer. But for those of you who desire pedestal, we could still have the mirror there. Yes, Spike Cave has been checked. Obscure checked it, got the shovel out of it. Oh look, there's another useless item.
Yeah.
The blue potato.
It's a bit more useful if you get it early on, because it lets you get around to some places where you'd otherwise save and quit. But this late in the run, it's not very useful in overworld glitches.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't even get it activated at any point.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yo, are we getting Eastern clip from Obscure?
Oh, nice. Oh,
Yes.
oh, there it goes.
Look at that. Look at that. Just time save of probably like 4 seconds. Hype clip.
Yeah. If it looks cool and it saves time, why not do it? It's like a win-win.
Thanks, Hintile.
Yeah.
We already got Catfish. We already know the armor's there.
Yeah. Half magic is not necessary, but it's always nice. And he's just rushing ahead because he knows he's already got both item or all items in here.
So far our runners have been following pretty similar routes. Purity is a little bit ahead, so if we continue to see these routes being followed, then Purity will get the mirror a little bit earlier. But we still have to look for the Ice Rod, so could be variation in where they choose to go looking for Ice Rod.
And there's always the remote chance that the shovel leads to something really important, which could help Obscure
Yeah.
out.
Although the only thing it could lead to that would be significant is the mirror itself. Purity, if you're gonna walk through Kakariko, you may as well activate the flute anyway. Then again, flute is not very useful without the mirror. Alright, crystal to crystal, we're going to Crystal Skull Woods now. Going to see what we can find here with the fire rod.
Going to be doing the back first, apparently.
Yep, back first means that you can try and get items off of Mothula to skip some stuff on the front. And hey, there's an item in the big key chest right there, so that will save some. Do we know anything about Pedestal yet? We know that it is not the Ice Rod, but it can still be the mirror, or something leading to the mirror.
Yeah, 2 items in Skullwoods.
Whip key dash.
Oh, getting knocked into the pit.
So Obscure doing a traditional Overworld glitches meme, the 1 hour escape check. We usually delay escape for a pretty long time because it's kind of out of the way. Purity doing early escape was unusual. Did not lead to anything, although Obscure is now doing it as well, so kind of neutralizes the time loss from that. Chico, you okay? There's a lot of noise.
Oh, sorry, my the push to talk got stuck on. Sorry about that.
Anyway, there's the second item from Skullwoods, as well as the crystal. So we've now fully cleared out Skullwoods while checking exactly 2 locations.
Yeah, that's some pretty good placement for PRD. You're checking Graveyard Lid? Oh no.
Nope. Get auto-walked.
Yeah, messed it up. I got it right this time.
Yeah, we don't actually care about the Total Rock Medallion. I missed what was on Graveyard Wedge, but I assume it was not anything important.
Shroom in the King's Tomb. It's another single check.
Yeah, and we are actually close to the witch, so we may turn it in right now. Nope, alright, we're going left. Something something flute.
Oh yeah, seeing a flute activation for once. PRD hoping he finds the ice rod here. Nope, just a 20.
Another hammer-locked location to check off the list.
Another possibility.
PRD actually opting not to go into Thieves Town at all.
Yeah, the Thieves Town Big Chest is another possibility for Hammerlocked, but it's not as Swamp Palace has way more checks, so it's a better choice if you're looking for something Hammerlocked.
Wow, look at all those red rupees. Is this a TAS or something? RNG manipulation? Okay, the instant I say that, some not red rupees start coming.
Yeah. And Obscure has been opting for doing the front of Skullwoods first, which obviously isn't going to pay off for him, unfortunately.
Wow, we got the first bottle an hour and 3 minutes into the seed. Yes, we need mirror for Swamp. Maybe the mirror is on Sick Kid. Purity debating, probably to whether to go into Thieves or not. Opting to go instead to Misery Mire. So we can just clip into Mire without the fruit, which causes some interesting issues as the game attempts to load the rain and does not do it very well. And we did get to see that the Mire Medallion is Ether, so right now we cannot go into Misery Mire. We do strictly need the Medallion to enter Mire, unlike with Turtle Rock, where we can just clip into a side entrance. Yeah, the glitch drain makes it a little bit difficult to see. It's definitely ether. And ObscureLifeForm going to finish off Skullwoods.
You're already getting a very unhelpful hint.
Imagine if you hadn't gone to Lost Woods yet, and you got that hint, you'd be like, oh no, Bo is on pedestal. Oh no.
Yeah, that's in the Lost Woods is always a ominous hint to get.
I actually like to just like remember what I got in Lost Woods, just to be safe. Yeah, PRD might actually go to Ice Palace. It would be kind of a concluding point. Okay. Yeah, Lost Woods hint can mean pedestal. Although we already have the bow, so obviously it's not on pedestal.
And there are a couple of Hammerlock checks in the in Ice Palace, so it's another good place to hope for the Ice Fraud.
PRD now going for King's Tomb, going to pick up the mushroom, wondering if we will get to see the witch. Yeah, looks like it. So we get to see our witch friend.
Come on, Bloopy. Oh, Red Rupee.
Close
Equally
enough.
useless.
Blue Rupee is Ocarina of Time
Yeah,
junk item.
yeah, Bloopies are the meme junk in Ocarina of Time rando.
And this one we've got the red version. Worth slightly more, but not really. Can we burn the witch? That would be really mean. And then you couldn't buy blue potions.
Oh, you can burn them in Ocarina of Time. Purity debating saving quitting out, and then realizing he's got the key, so he's gonna clear out the rest from the back.
So between our runners, we've checked pretty much all of the overworld. So I'm guessing that we have to go into the Ice Palace. You know, I'm gonna hope it's Thieves Town instead, because I don't want to go into Ice Palace. But it looks like PRD is going to go into Ice Palace. No.
No fancy equipped Ice Palace. Vanilla Way's the fastest with the item he has, unfortunately.
So Ice Palace is pretty much just Ice Palace, pretty standard. Although coming here is also possibly for the Ice Rod, because there are a decent number of checks which are hammerlocked here. Okay, we're safe from the deadly mirror in Pyramid Fairy. Although
yeah.
swamp is red crystal, isn't it? So that wouldn't happen anyway. We do have a glitch to get into Pyramid Fairy using the mirror. So if mirror is in Pyramid Fairy, then it really sucks.
Yeah. And PRD apparently knows how to get the line up with that sprite.
I think he uses a shadow cue, which is consistent among all sprites.
Uh,
I guess Obscure got the butter sword off of the smiths, so I guess vanilla.
Not as vanilla as it gets with progressive items.
Alright, Green Pendant is dead. And it looks like Obscure is going for Thieves Town now.
Yeah.
So we finally get some divergence. After mostly an hour of being relatively together, except, okay, just kidding, that's not Thieves Town.
And he's gonna get the Village of Outcasts checks first. But if he does go into Thieves Town, there's the big chest counts as hammerlocked, so that's a chance for the ice rod, and the other checks.
Did PRD just get something in that chest? I was actually not paying attention, and I missed the entire thing.
Oh,
Okay,
I
it's
thought
Ice
the
Rod.
rod. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Big payoff for PRD.
Yeah, so we are going to have to go independent Ice Palace. Oh, jeez. With the Ice Rod, at least getting the Ice Rod there means that we can full clear Turtle Rock, so if the mirror is in Turtle Rock, then it wound up being okay. Are you serious?
On the book.
So with the book, we have access to the tablets, and also we can check the meme.
Which means no blind pull, unfortunately.
What do you mean, unfortunately?
You don't like blind pedestal pulls?
No.
It's a pretty good meme. A bit less funny when you're the one doing it.
Yeah, I have blindfold Fire Rod, Ice Rod, and Bow before, and they all suck.
Oh yeah, I had a blind pull for a fire rod. That was fun.
Alright, PRD fighting Cold Stare for, I presume, the last item. I've not been really counting the items. Fortunately, a pretty quick fight. Not getting the quick kill, but... Oh my goodness,
Ooh.
Are you serious? So not only did Ice Palace have the Ice Rod and the book, but it also had the Ether Medallion. So hey, let's go get the mirror in Misery Mire. Yay! You do Turtle Rock first. Do you check before Diving Mire? Yes, definitely, because if you can skip Vitreous, it's good. Looks like Obscure is heading back to Ganon's Tower to get the right side items, which were passed up the first time. Now that we have the Fire Rod, it is no longer terrible.
Getting the ether tablet while he's there.
Come on, PRD, do the cool clip. Do mirrorless laser bridge so I can talk about it.
No, he's just gonna do the vanilla way. You can clear from top to bottom. It's faster.
This is boring. I guess if we don't have mirror, it's reasonable, I guess.
Oh, no, he's not going top to bottom. Are you gonna spin speed to the middle? Or hook shot first?
That's a mirror. Oh man. Okay, so... Oh.
Yeah, that changes things a bit.
Ooh, so we got mirror in right side GT, Ice Rod and Ice Palace. Whichever runner finds the other one first. So PRD is going to clear Turtle Rock first, because that's the sensible thing to do, and Obscure is going to clear Swamp Palace first, because that's also the sensible thing to do. So both runners running through dungeons which are of no use progression-wise. Yeah, so PRD went for the Fire Rod skip earlier in GT, unfortunately failed it, and then decided not to go for it again, but that would have been enormous, getting the mirror very early. Okay, so PRD is doing a clip that we call mirrorless laser bridge, because it lets us get to laser bridge without doing a mirror wrap. So you do a complicated set of clips and then jump off, and now you're in laser bridge.
Nice.
So the real question is where the big key is, because we do need the big key to defeat Trinix. And the glitch logic assumes that you don't do this clip, or that you don't do the mirror screen wrap. So the big key is closer to the top.
Yeah,
in fact, it can only be in locations that it can be in no glitches logic, although the key logic, with the small keys, can force you to go around from the middle. So here we know the big key is not in, for example, the crystal roller chest.
Yeah, only clips to the middle are in Overworld, which is logic, so it can't be down here.
So while our runners clear out these crystal dungeons, which unfortunately are devoid of progression, I'd like to remind everyone to give them a follow. They're clearly very talented runners, both of them quite good at overworld glitches, as you can see. And while Quake Medallion may be a unique item, it's certainly not a very helpful one.
There are some obscure things you can do with it that we will absolutely not be seeing this run. Or most runs.
That was either the best or worst pun I've ever heard.
Thank you.
Yeah, we still need the 7 crystals. Alright, so update on the item locations. For those of you recently coming in, the Ice Rod, which we need for Turtle Rock, is in Ice Palace, which is a pendant, of course. And the mirror is on right side GT. Now, both of our runners have already gone to and cleared Ganon's tower. So, it's a question of whether PRD decides to go back to GT first, or whether Obscure gets to the Pendant Ice Palace first. And given that we have a hint for the Ice Rod, knowing that it's hammer locked, that will speed up Obscure's checking a bit, not having to check the extraneous locations.
Yep, not many locations to check, while PRD just has to search around.
However, doing left side swamp may be a bit of a hamper for that, considering how slow it is. Wisely going to skip the bombable wall chest, knowing that it is not the Ice Rod, considering that is not Hammerlock. Why did PRD go Ice Palace? My guess is a combination of a couple of things. The first one being having Titan's Mitts fairly early in Logic. The second thing being having the hint to go to hammer-locked locations. So that combination of things is my guess as to why to go to Ice Palace after finishing the available crystals. That is 6th crystal for PRD, so both runners now sitting on the Ice Rod or the Mirror as their go mode.
And I'm hoping, since Obscure's doing Swamp, we'll get to see the mirrorless clip to Ice Palace from the Swamp area.
He has the Mirror.
Oh, well, the mirror up's fun too.
Yes, it is definitely faster to do the Mirror wrap.
Mainly, I just want to see a fancy wrap.
Yes, it looks cool. Alright, PRD gonna activate the flute now.
Oh, he's right.
It's a unique item! Not really. Wow. And now Obscure going to continue Swamp Palace because the Swamp Palace big chest counts as a hammer-locked location, and we don't have the big key yet.
Here they're going to check Bombos, maybe? Yep, flipping up down to it.
Unfortunately for Obscure, Swamp Palace is going to be completely dry. And on PRD's side, Turtle Rock was also completely dry. Oh no, PRD going to Mire, it looks like.
And Obscure, I think, going to Thieves Town.
Both known to be dry completely. Although Obscure's choice in this case is because knowing where the Ice Rod could be, Thieves Town has a hammer-locked chest. The big chest. There will be no bird tosses today.
Obscure getting his first bottle. If he ever wants to fake flute. This seed has been weirdly dry of bottles so far. Now I'm curious if Obscure is going to steal the key for the attic and use that to get to the hammer chest.
Yes, I think that would be a smart play, since we know that the ice rod can't be in any other chest except that one.
Yep, he's going for it.
Yep, gonna toggle that switch so that he can continue onwards, but not going to go for the attic.
And of course he'll find nothing here, and then he'll probably go to Ice Palace.
Yeah, I don't think there are any other locations actually left that are hammer-locked.
And the fact that Obscure has a hint on where his last go mode item is puts him at an advantage, definitely.
Yep. Now, if PRD decides immediately after Meyer to go back to GT, I think then it will be possible. No, Obscure will not go to T-Rock because there's no reason to. The Ice Rod isn't there. So I think if PRD gets the mirror immediately after Meyer, there is still a chance. Otherwise, I think Obscure has the lead. Yes, the hammerlock has to be immediate. That's the way that the hints work currently. Hints will point to... How do I describe this? Hints will always require a strict locking. So, for example, none of these items in Ice Palace require the Fire Rod because Bombos is also a valid option. Some of them require the hammer because you need the hammer to get them. What spot are you referring to? You can't because when you say mirror glitch, that's a little bit ambiguous in a mode that's all about glitches. So I need the push block.
You can't do that indoors.
Do that in dungeons.
In dungeons, yeah.
You can do it indoors. You can't do it in dungeons because the mirror already has a use in dungeons, which is to return you to the entrance. And so if you try and do that, it'll delete the block, actually. The block will be gone, but then you'll be sent back to the entrance, so the block will respawn.
And yeah, there are some oddities with how the hints work. You just kind of got to learn them and get used to them.
The hint system is actually designed to be correct for all non-glitched logics. So, because you don't need the mitts to go to Ice Palace in inverted logic, it won't ever say that you need mitts. Because you don't need, like, Samaria to access a lot of the chests in Total Rock in inverted. It won't ever say that you need Samaria for certain chests in Total Rock. The hints are intended to be mode irrelevant. Except for glitch logic, which has a couple of not great hints that sometimes get used, but you can still deduce what they are anyway. Purity unfortunately clearing Misery Mire for nothing. Oop, and there we go. Ice Rod. So, PRD goes and gets the Fire Rod right now. Sorry, not the fire, the mirror. There might be a chance.
Yep.
Turtle Rock Big Key is in like the front. So depending on the route Obscure takes, there might be some time save there. This is not the save and quit location of someone who is going to Ganon's Tower.
Oh no. He's gonna check Thieves Town.
Alright, so I would put Obscure now in a solid advantage. It would take some interesting shenanigans to break this, I think.
Obscure going for the sword clip to the middle of Turtle Rock.
PRD has left the rest of Thieves Town, obviously. Has Smith's sequence left. Not much else besides that. And obviously the right side of Ganon's Tower, which is where the mirror is.
Obscure getting that big key.
Looks like Snow needs the small key though. So going to go into Roller Room for that small key, although it is actually not important. There is a small key on Laser Bridge. Oh, Obscure is going to go through the sort of glitchless method.
Yeah, just mirroring back and continuing down.
Purity taking them blind. The last pendant dungeon remaining gets a third bottle. Wow, bottles suck. Oh, it's fourth bottle. My mistake. So Purity has almost all the items.
Is he gonna go for the pedestal?
At this point, you may as well. Like, the assumption is, like, if Mirror is not on pedestal, then I probably just lost, because my opponent almost certainly did not do all the pendant dungeons. Mirror is in right side Ganon's tower. Runner's already cleared out GT, so Purity has to make a return trip there. And Obscure will be picking up the 7th and final crystal. Can now go to Ganon and defeat the pig.
And it's time to see what form of disappointment is on the pedestal.
Okay, chat, are you happy? We pulled the pedestal. Of course.
Oh, Purity is so angry. Those are very angry slashes. Purity finally going back to Ganon's hell right side.
Probably Spike Cave first, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Here's Ganon.
Ganon with the Zelda 2 reference.
Gold Sword makes this fight a piece of cake, on top of already having red mail as well, means that Ganon is only doing 4 hearts with contact as opposed to the usual 8. So that makes the fight much safer. And Purity is finally going back to Ganon's tower, so assuming Ganon stops warping sometime soon, the dun from Obscure should come in at about the same time that Purity gets go mode.
PRD tried to do east side or right side bomb jump and messed it up, so he ended up just clearing the top of the tower instead of trying it again.
And with that, that is time for ObscureLifeForm finishing in first place with an official SOL race time of 1:39.57. Get your GGs in chat.
Thankfully, Swamp Palace doesn't require the big key to finish, so PRD can go through it pretty quickly now that he's in go mode.
And we are joined by Obscure. GG.
Yeah, good game.
So, what do you think of the seed? You there, Obscure? Okay, we're having microphone issues, I think. Hopefully we will be able to get Obscure properly this time.
Just taking that can hook running past everything to get to the boss.
Okay, Obscure's back. Is your mic working this time?
It should be. Sorry, I got my wires crossed.
Alright, that's great. So what do you think of the seed?
Even for a rando, like some of the locations, find a rod at the end of the GT and make you go back in. Kind of gives you a hint where the ice rod is. Is that better now? Sorry about that.
Yeah, sounds better now.
Okay, sorry about that. But yeah, I was saying it was pretty evil. Like putting the fire rod at the end of GT after having to do the lamps and then forcing you to go back in and find the mirror.
Yeah, you could get around that with the bomb jump, which Purdy attempted to do, but unfortunately was unable to get.
Yeah, he didn't push the right block before trying it.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing it, but I was like, is it really going to be that evil? Like, once I got the fire rod, so I didn't worry about it. Because at that point, I think it was just ice rod and mirror left to find. And I was like, well, I know the ice rod's hammer locked. And I've got so many dungeons to still clear. I was like, it's probably not worth me wasting a few minutes trying to get that bomb jump. So I didn't worry, and then I just kind of got back in there at the end.
Yeah, so your routing was actually fairly similar after getting Dark World, after getting like most of Light World cleared. So what you did pretty much was both of you ran around Light World, got mostly everything, and then went into because you literally had all of the items for Ganon's Tower. You both went and did Ganon's Tower, and then pretty much followed the same route through all the crystal dungeons afterwards. So at that point, it was just a search for a mirror and ice rod.
Okay.
And so Purdy went into Ice Palace earlier, got the ice rod. And then unfortunately, last location mirror.
Yeah, it's one of those two locations. Because I was thinking, like when I saw Hammerlock, I was like, it's either around the Smiths area or it's going to be in Swamp. So once I got it, I just kind of tried to, well, I made some silly progression there in the Swamp. And then after it wasn't there, I was kind of like, that's so weird. Like it must be in like one of these really out there dungeons.
Yeah, the hint was very, very useful when you're routing to find Ice Rod.
Yeah. To put it at the end of Ice Palace. It was quite cruel.
Yeah, there was a point where PRD had the ice rod and needed the mirror, and you had the mirror and needed the ice rod, but you had the hint, which gave you a pretty solid advantage.
I mean, you both had the hint. It was just that PRD decided to act on it first.
Oh yeah. Well, I meant like he had the hint for the item he needed, and PRD didn't have any hint for his item.
Yeah, I almost convinced myself that it was going to be Swamp. So I was a little bit confused when it wasn't.
Yep, and PRD finishing now with a time of 1:46.41. We will see if we can get him in for an interview. Oh, already here.
Hey, GG, Obscure.
GG, well played.
I don't know, on my side, I don't think so, but I'm sure on your side.
Well, apparently we were quite similar, so it was until the end.
Yeah, pretty much after White World clear, both went to GT, then Pod, Eastern, Skullwoods. And then it was turned into who could find the other's item first, since Obscure got Mirror, and you got Ice Rod, and then it was, what was the other one? And Obscure had the advantage there because of the Ice Rod hint.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. I thought I had enough time to make it on that right side the first time I went through, but I guess I do have to push the block first or something.
Yeah. It looked okay to me, but I don't know. I don't do that jump particularly often.
Yeah, it closed way earlier than I was expecting. Like, I thought it would be tight, but like, I didn't even get to start my dash.
Usually with boots, you have a second or so of leniency. So I was surprised actually that it closed so early. And if, of course, if you'd gotten the bomb jump and all the torches lit, then that would have completely changed the seed.
Yeah. I don't know, I just feel like I've been playing steadily worse and worse as this tourney goes on.
Rip.
But that's okay.
No, I thought your play was pretty good, excepting the one execution error there, which what you do one thing, you're like, okay, it's not worth it to go back for it again, and then oops, that was go mode. Okay.
And unfortunately didn't have enough health to try the bomb jump again either.
I know. Yeah, I on retrospect, I think I should have tried for it again because I had red mail, so maybe I still had the quarter of a heart left to be able to get there. But yeah, I just took a death warp.
Yeah, that's fair. And then you're just like, okay, it's not worth it. Yeah, I'm looking at the end screens at this point, and it's just like, okay, there's a really big difference here.
Wow, you all cleared it.
Yeah,
That's really
I only had I had blacksmith and purple chest left. Oh, and then I had just found the shovel, so yeah, I had that left too.
Wow, considering you all cleared it, like, that's an amazing time that you got.
Yeah. 7 more minutes to clear out all the dungeons.
Yeah, so any final words from either of you on the seed?
No, it was a good game. It was a fun seed, really trolly, but it's what it is. It's what a game's all about.
Just practice that right side GT.
Alright, so I think we are pretty much done. So thank you for putting on a great show for us today. And thank you to my co-com, Shiku, and
Thank you.
to our tracker, who is Sam Imus. I never remember how to pronounce that correctly without looking at it.
Always very appreciative of the tracker keeping track of everything for 2 players.
Yeah, it's a rough job and definitely underappreciated, I think. So thank you to everyone for watching. You've been a great audience. I've been Espion, and with my co-com Shiku, we will see you later.
Have fun watching more games in this tournament and elsewhere.
Yeah, right now actually there is Thelane versus Doomtap on SpeedGaming 3, another Overworld Glitches race. So if you want to see more Overworld Glitches, then check that out. Alright, see, goodbye.